friends, welcome to the Garage Show, where we get to the nitty gritty on various topics. Although I'm on the business side of the Garage Show today. So I would love to talk to you today about chivalry. Is it alive or is it dead? I say that it's alive and kicking, and we're going to get into what it looks like to be chivalrous. Okay? So what is chivalry? Chivalry pertains to nobility as one of the estates of the realm. Chivalry had to do with a body or host of knights. It had to do with knighthood in the feudal system. It had to do with bravery in war. It had to do with the art of war. It stood for nobility, cavalry, honor, valor, generosity, and courtly manner. In the medieval times, it came from the word caballeries, and chivalry. Oh my gosh, chivalry. Okay, which means horsemen, and it also has to do with courtesy towards women. Ooh, that was a tongue twister for me. My goodness, but we're gonna keep rolling with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a chivalrous man, some of these items that I'll be going over may not be new to you, but ladies, what should you be expecting from a man when it comes to dating, particularly when you're on that first date? How can you tell if this man has some type of etiquettes or manners, if he is chivalrous in nature? And some of you men, perhaps you didn't experience this when you were growing up. You didn't have somebody to mirror this for you, to demonstrate it. So no shade here intended at all, but maybe you just never been exposed to it. So it doesn't matter if you're a young man, a middle-aged man, or if you're an old man. There's always room for learning something new. I learn something new every day. So if you're looking to impress a certain lady or young lady or woman, I'm going to give you some of the keys to do it. And if you have not been chivalrous in nature and you'd like to polish up a little bit, moi has the keys for you. I have the golden keys for you today. So we're going to take a look at this. I posed a question earlier about, is it alive or dead? And I got a feedback from a gentleman by the name of Roberto. I got some feedbacks from several people, but Roberto says, hey, I'm great. From my experience, I would say it's dead. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. So unlike the statements that I got from the other gentleman. It says, the reason I say is because we as a people have evolved as we always have. And if it was alive, then we as a people would be chivalrous without a question or to be asked to. Ooh. Between man and woman, it's only women that ask for it. But not understanding that women can also be chivalrous as well, but they would never do it. At least most women that I experience won't. To be honest, a lot of women don't deserve it. This is what Roberto says. Women have evolved into something way beyond what women were back then, but feel like they deserve the treatment the women received back then. If a woman believes that old traits should stay the same in men, then why not in women? For every person, their experiences are different. I'm not biased. I only speak on my reality of it. I don't do chivalrous things like in the old days, but I show and do things that I feel that is necessary in this new age of living, but only if the woman that I am with deserves to be valued. That comes from Roberto. Roberto, thank you so much for your comments. Now, some of the responses that I received earlier, let's see, from Doug. Doug says, Doug goes on to say, let's see if I can find it. Oh my goodness, let's see what Doug said. If you can bear with me, I'm going to close this up. I'm watching the clock. So I'm going to see. Doug goes on to say, I don't believe that chivalry is dead. It just isn't taught enough. Most people today associate chivalry as an old person's way of courting a woman. Society is teaching our young men that the way to a woman's heart is through what you buy for her. to impress her with material things. But when the material is gone, what do you have? Character and integrity are so important. Touch her heart with who you are as a person. Be kind and appreciative of her company. Build her up. Don't tear her down. True love is sacrifice of your time and the willingness to be there for her in all seasons. There are many more things that he could expound on. Thank you, Doug, for your input. Raphael goes on to say, today chivalry is dependent on the personality of the individual and what were the values parents insisted in educating some individuals. He says for him, for me, is all about respect toward everyone. The same type of respect that I show towards lady, I show toward gentlemen. If the respect is reciprocal, someone says thank you and open the doors for me, hears me when I'm talking to them and interacts in a socially positive way, I try to treat them the way that they treat me. I had a great example as a dad, mom, and uncles and family on how to treat everyone. That's some of what Doug says. Michael goes on to say, yes, it's still much very alive and when demanded and when required and when earned is what Michael says. Chivalry is like an action-driven DNA. I pass to my daughter and she and her husband are passing to my grandsons. Chivalry dates back to the late Middle Ages and it emphasizes virtues like courage, honor, and service. It's a tribe thing. My daddy, my mommy, my church, the institutions in my community, and my community explain and practice it. For me and many, many other men, it's called being a man. Thank you so much for your comment, Michael. So I'd like to get into some of the acts of chivalry. I'm going to go through very quickly for 18 of them. 1, open the car door when you're on the date. Open the car door, she's entering and exiting the vehicle. Number 2, walk on the street side of the curb side of the sidewalk. Again, it had to do with protection and valor. So as a man, you're buffering yourself. You serve yourself as a buffer between the street and the lady, right? So number 3, stand up from the table when she leaves or arrives. If you're in a restaurant, she has to go to the lady rooms. As she stands, you're supposed to stand with her. And when she comes back, you stand up again. That's if you're looking to be chivalrous. Text her in the AM. How was your day? Have a great day. Wishing you much success. Wishing you well. This is another act that was listed as chivalrous. Number 5, walk her to a door. You've had a great evening. Don't just beep the horn and pull off. Walk that lady to her door and make sure she's in safely. Number 6, if she orders something and doesn't like it, trade places with her. I know I may get some pushback on that. Because the guy's probably like, well, what if I don't like it? Number 7, if you invited her on the date, pay for the tab. You pick up the tab. And I know today some more and more people are going Dutch, but this is some of the old-fashioned customs of chivalry. Number 8, hold the door. If you're walking into a building, you hold the door first and allow the lady to go in front of you. Number 9, pick her up for the date. Drive to her home and pick her up. But I give a caveat here. If you're doing online dating and you've never met this individual a day in your life, my suggestion would be that you meet him in a very, very public place that are filled with lots of people. And I would suggest that you do this quite often until you get a feel for him, until you feel comfortable and you've done all your research, right? That's number 9. Number 10, call her to invite her out. Don't invite her out via text, right? Number 12, dress appropriately. Find out whatever venue you're going through. Is it dress casual or is it after 5 wear? Are you supposed to be formal in dress? Dress appropriately. Number 13, ooh, this gets under my skin. If you're with that woman, she should feel like the only woman in your room. She should have your undivided attention. Do not eye up the eye candy that's passing by. Do not watch booties. That is very rude and shows a lack of etiquette. Right? Number 14, ladies order first. Let the lady go first when it comes time to ordering. Number 15, pay her a sincere compliment. There's nothing more horrible than flattery, and it can be sensed if it's not genuine. So pay her a sincere compliment. Number 16, you're in a place where your friends or family members are, or co-workers. Introduce her. And when you introduce her, the proper way is to put your hand gently in the small of her back, not on her booty, but on the small of her back, and introduce her to your friends, your family members, or your co-workers, right? Then number 17, pull up to the curb. If you're at the movie and you're parked in the parking garage, you have to go get the car, and she maybe have her wait on the curbside and come pull around and pick her up, right? That's the proper way if you're a man of chivalry. And number 18, be the weatherman. What? You might say, what? How do I be the weatherman? Well, it depends. If it's raining, you want to, one, bring the car around, but also when you bring the car around for her, grab a hold of that umbrella and hold it out for her until she gets in the car, and make sure she doesn't get wet. Did she dress so cutesy and she forgot her coat, and the weather all of a sudden got a little chilly? Put your coat around her so you be her weatherman. So depending on whatever the situation calls for, you do that, So again, I hope you've enjoyed my few tidbits here, my nuggets of wisdom and my keys for chivalry. And I hope you fellas are practicing some acts of chivalry with your prospective or your potential girlfriend, your date, or your girlfriend if you already have one. And if you're married, I don't think chivalry stops there. Whatever it took for you to get her, you should continue to do this. And I'd love to hear some feedback on what you think are some great acts of chivalry. Do you think it's dead? Does it really take all of that? Yay or nay? I'd love to hear from you. Please drop me some comments below in the comments section, and please like and subscribe to the channel. I will be posting more of this kind of content. We're taking it back to the old path. This is just a reminder for those that may have forgotten, and for those that would like to be more poised and have etiquette and would like to demonstrate chivalry. I hope you've enjoyed this message, and you know what time it is, because what happens in the garage, it stays in the garage. Please share this information that you heard here in this garage. Have a lovely day. Peace and love. Thanks. If you've enjoyed this message, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks in advance.